Hello! I am back again for our third vlog. Today, we'll be looking at the target audience that Fantastic Mr. Fox is aiming for. John Hartley, 1987, and Yen Ang, 1991, suggested that producers create invisible fictions or imaginary entities before creating a media product. This was said because before making a film, the producer has to work out who their target demographic are. They do this so they can work out what aspects of a film is needed in order to appeal to their target demographic. The imaginary entity of Fantastic Mr. Fox could sound something like this. Alice, aged 32, lives in a small village in the countryside of England. She lives with her 2 children and husband, and works as a housewife caring and managing for the family's home while her husband works and children go to school. Every now and again, the family like to sit together in the evening and watch a movie together. Alice usually chooses these films once everyone is away. She chooses films that are suitable for family viewing, but are also enjoyable and fun to watch. Alice also always enjoyed reading books ever since she was a child, and in her youth, she would always spend her spare time reading stories of all genres, letting her imagination go wild. Age. Fantastic Mr. Fox is rated PG, which is a certificate that is given to a film that does not contain any content that may upset or disturb a child. This means it is viewable by family audiences, and because of this, the age of people expected to see the film would roughly be age 11 to 40, with the majority of the audience being age 20 to 40. This is because Fantastic Mr. Fox is adapted from a book of the same name by the author Roald Dahl, which was published back in 1970s, and many of the older generation would have read the book when they were kids, which might be the primary reason why they want to see the film. But the film manages to appeal to both adults and children. This is because the film features jokes and visual gags which are utilised through characters like Kylie, who acts as a comic relief throughout the film. We can see an example of Kylie's comic relief in this scene, where Mr. Fox is describing his plan to Kylie. Kylie's oblivious, innocent and simple nature detracts the seriousness of the situation and presents a light-hearted spin on it. The film also appeals to both adults and children through its unique visual style using stop-motion animation and an autumnal colour palette. This visual style of the film is introduced right at the beginning of the film. This helps to draw the audience into the film world and create a sense of escapism. Rick Altman, 1999. In order for the film to attract viewers from an older generation, the cast features the renowned actors George Clooney and Meryl Streep, and uses them as star power. Because these actors are incredibly famous, and have been starring in films for many years, it is a likelihood that the older generation grew up watching their films, which may influence them to see this film. Fantastic Mr. Fox appeals to both males and females. This is because it uses lots of anthropomorphized animals who stereotypically appeal more to the female demographic. And for the male demographic, the film features fast-paced action scenes, like the escape from Bean Annex, where we can see lots of fast movement, loud noises, and plenty of gunfire. The main character in the film is Mr. Fox, who acts as an ideal self, Carl Rogers 1980, for the male demographic, because how he is portrayed as clever, witty, and has a love for danger and thrills. This may influence more males to watch the film, but Mr. Fox's personality could also be seen as an ideal partner among women, Carl Rogers 1980, for the same reasons as the male demographic, therefore influencing women to watch the film. From all this, I would estimate that the audience for this film primarily be made up of 55% male and 45% female. Lifestyle. The NRS are an organisation who specialise in information relating to various demographics. They have created a list which divides the various demographic lifestyles into their own categories. From this list, we can find which demographics were most likely to be targeted by the film. For Fantastic Mr. Fox, I would say that its target demographic would be both F, country life, and C, settled suburbans, as in these target areas we can expect the consumer to live comfortable lives and have more disposable income. We'll talk about why that is important later. Another reason why the film may appeal to these lifestyles is because the film is set in the countryside and features animals that appear in the real-life countryside as main characters. Spending power. The spending power of a demographic is the amount of disposable income or money that the demographic is expected to have left over after using it on taxes and necessary resources. The amount of spending power a demographic has is reflected in a table of social grades, with A being the most disposable income and E being the lowest. The expected social grades for Fantastic Mr. Fox would be 30% A, 40% B, and 30% C1. because it is targeted toward people who have enough money to buy DVDs or watch films regularly, as the film was not advertised spectacularly and has no official merchandise, and therefore relies on the consumer to pick it up in store. And that A, B, and C1 grade demographics are more likely to spend their money on a more niche film than people with a lower amount of disposable income. McQuail's theory. In 1972, Dennis McQuail developed the theory of uses and gratification, which states that people consume media for 4 different reasons. Those reasons are surveillance, escapism, building personal identity, building personal relationships. The film Fantastic Mr. Fox was made for escapism, which means that it was made to draw the audience out of their own world and into the film world, leaving any potential personal problems behind. In order to accomplish this, the film creates escapism through its aesthetics, as mentioned earlier, and creates a beautiful setting that captures the audience's attention. Another reason for escapism is shown in the characters of the film, specifically the good guys, as they are generally presented as the funny and light-hearted characters, which make them engaging to the audience. And that concludes our third vlog.